Today is day 14 of 100 days of random acts of kindness. As you can see, my face has not really calmed down. I'm still quite short of breath, which I thought would have gone away by now, but it hasn't. So when I was kind of getting a little concerned about that, I then considered my face and how these new sweet things are still popping up. So obviously this drug is really holding on into my system, which isn't a terrible thing because it seems to be, the data shows, not on me, but in general, that it's a good drug. I'm having some kind of reaction to it. And looking at this, I think I was saying that I couldn't get the prescription filled for the cream that they wanted to give me because the oncologist wrote it for a cream and it's actually a lotion or a gel. And so I'm just kind of using whatever we have in the house. I haven't left the house, I don't know, since Friday, I guess, and it's Sunday. I just couldn't do it today. I didn't even leave my room, to be honest. I don't know. It's so strange because you've got one side of you saying, you know, your days are limited and live life to its fullest. And so obviously that pressure is going strong in the back of my mind. And then the other side of me is thinking, I can't walk 10 steps without being out of breath. And I really want to wash my hair, but being in the shower for that long, my last 2 showers, I've ended up being very, very nauseous to the point where I've had to kind of get out with potentially still conditioner in my hair to just sit down, kind of get out. I just drenched the bathroom one day that Keith ended up cleaning up for me, because I got out and just had to go and sit on the side of the tub. We have a walk-in shower that's separate than our bathtub, and so I was just like, I didn't dry off anything. My hair was dripping. It was just, I was soaked. The bathroom was soaked, and so I'm just kind of stuck. So Keith said earlier today, you know, what if I just push you around? I have a wheelchair now. What if I push you around in the wheelchair? And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So it's been a bit of a struggle, and like I said, I really put a lot of pressure, and I think that's normal. I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people who are sick, you know, you don't want to waste a day, especially when I know how lucky I am to, regardless of the shortness of breath and feeling pretty nauseous, I had a really bad night's sleep. The fractured hip, I still consider myself exceptionally lucky, and, you know, you don't want to waste a day, but today, I try not to think of it as a waste. I try to think of it that I'm trying to heal, and that's my focus, but it is tough. And so on days like today, it's easy to reflect and see all the wonderful things that people do for me. And I woke up in the middle of the night quite nauseous or nauseated. I really didn't feel well at all, and wasn't sure if I was going to throw up or not. So kind of searched through and found I have every kind of anti-nausea. Like, I've got Pepto-Bismol tabs and Gravol and Imodium. Then I've got like 3 different anti-nausea prescriptions. Prescriptions. But ideally, I don't like to put a lot of drugs. I'm already on so many drugs that if I can, I'd like to avoid it. And that leads me to today's random act of kindness. I was over visiting a friend, I think in the middle of April, and she knows a lot about essential oils. And so people have suggested essential oils to me for a long time, and so I educated myself on them. And there are a lot of different scents and oils that I can't use because I have a hormone-based cancer. And so when I tell people that I can't sleep, they often say put a little lavender on your pillow. But lavender has phytoestrogens in it, and it can encourage my cancer to grow. It's not saying that it will. It's not saying that if you put lavender I don't know, in your pillow that you're going to develop cancer. I'm not suggesting any of that. But there are a lot of things that they still don't really know how it works. And that's just one of them. So I stay away from lavender. Anyway, my friend Tiffany is very knowledgeable, and she put together 4 different, and if you guys know essential oils, you know that they're like something like this is very, very, very expensive. So she uses doTERRA. This one's peppermint. So peppermint, I can use on my forehead, inside my ears, and behind my ears, and it helps with hot flashes, which is a big issue when you're 33 and jammed into, when was I put into menopause? I think I just turned 31. And so, sorry, I just dropped one. That really helps with cooling me down, and I'm hot all the time. Not so much with this stuff on my face. I'm not looking so hot right now, but, and then she blended one for me for the actual cancer. It's got frankincense, which there have been studies on frankincense with bladder cancer, geranium, lemon. These are things that I can use, and whether it has a placebo effect on me or not, why wouldn't I use it? As long as it's safe, which it is. I've looked into each one of those, and I'm allowed to use them. So they go on the back of my feet for absorption. And like I said, honest to God, at this point, I'm like, if it gets me a few days even, why wouldn't I try? And then there's a mix already that is for pain. So this in particular, I would use on my hip, blend it right into my hip, and it just helps. Again, you know, I can imagine that some people are watching this wondering if it's a placebo effect. I like to believe in this, and I'm never one for alternative approaches or alternative medicine. Instead, complementary, as long as it's okay with my oncologist, which everything that I do a lot of research myself, and then once I think it's okay, I bring it to my oncologist. And I would suggest the same for you if you're nervous about something. Even massage therapy, I've had people in my medical team saying, make sure that's clear with your oncologist. You really don't know. Cancer, geez, as much as we know about cancer, there's a lot that we don't know, and I have so many questions that are left unanswered because they just don't know how it works. So anyway, this is another one. As you can tell, 3 huge bottles. Like we're into big bucks, and this was no question. I told her some of the things that I was going through, and Tiff went, yep, I'm going to put this together and give you this one. And then this little guy, which is peppermint, and that's kind of what I was talking about before with the nausea, is that I feel so crappy sometimes. Again, not trying to complain at all. Just, you're asking your body to do a lot. Like, not only has this cancer invaded my entire body, but now I've got this drug that obviously my body's having quite a reaction to, and then you think of all the other drugs that are in there, and they're trying to do their thing, and I'm just asking a hell of a lot for my body. So when I get nauseous, I try not to kind of blame and be angry and do all that. Just kind of get it under control. And so you take 1 or 2 drops of that in some water, and I've also heard taking that and putting it on like a handkerchief. Does anybody use that word anymore? Put it on a piece of fabric and smell it. Keith is beside me right now, and I thought he had his earbuds in, but he doesn't, so he just heard me struggle through that what is it?
Handkerchief? I don't know.
Is it chiff?
Chiff, yeah.
That sounds so awful. Handkerchief? How do you spell chiff? Anyway, so this little guy is great for nausea, and whether you're huffing it or drinking it, it's quite good. And I can just feel that I just cracked this again. and what I have learned and why I think so many of these are taking so long to heal. And my friend Tiff, who did all this essential oil, said that tea tree oil is good for this cold sore. It's absolutely, like, it doesn't even hardly feel like anything. It looks so horrible, but it doesn't actually feel like anything. But is my platelets are quite low. So they were, I think the range is 130 to 300. That's the count per however much in your blood. I don't know. And so before the trial started, I was at 197. And then on day 3, I was 199. And then a week after, I was 129. And the last time they did my blood, I was at 87. And so I looked into platelets, seeing, because I've never had an issue with platelets before. And it would seem that blood clotting is quite an issue. So I think that's why these things look so bad. Because they will bleed at the drop of a hat and then take forever to stop. And man, oh man, I just want to hide. This is just ridiculous, and it's taking forever. And anyway, I'm taking away from the amazing random act of kindness that, honest to God, every day I will, like, it takes me 5 seconds to think of one of the amazing things that people in my life have done, and that's just another one. So to Tiffany, thank you so much. You guys should look into essential oils, because they're pretty amazing, whether you're consuming them or like consuming them orally or rubbing them in or diffusing them or whatever it is. They do have curative powers for sure. And I'm just really grateful that Tiff has just offered so much of, that's one of her strengths, and she's just offered to help me like that. So hope you guys are having a great long weekend. Talk to you tomorrow.